Hey, what's up, y'all, man? This is your boy, Yah's Chosen One, doing it once more, man. We're in the great book of Jasher, chapter 55. Uh, the last chapter we were was 54. Jacob reunited with Joseph. Joseph reunited with his brethren, and it was a joyous moment. Okay, so chapter 55. And it came to pass after this that Jacob said, I will go and see my son in Egypt, and will then come back to the land of Canaan, of which the Most High has spoken unto Abraham. For I cannot leave the land of my birthplace. So that's the land of his birthplace. No matter what Egypt had to offer, you know, um, he wanted to go back to the land of his birthplace. Behold, the word of Yah came unto him, saying, Go down to Egypt with all thy household and remain there. Fear not to go down to Egypt, for I will there make thee a great nation. That's Genesis 46, verse 2. And from those words, that will be the beginning of Israel. Hallelujah. And Jacob said within himself, I will go and see my son, whether the fear of his power is yet in his heart amidst all the inhabitants of Egypt. So he wanted to go down there to see how he raised his son before his son was sold by his brothers, to see if it was still in his heart to serve the Most High. And Yah said unto Jacob, Fear not about Joseph, for he still retaineth his integrity to serve me, as will seem good in thy sight. And Jacob rejoiced exceedingly concerning his son. The Most High is talking to Jacob, and Jacob is very happy that his son Joseph is still serving Yah with integrity. At that time, Jacob commanded his sons and households to go to Egypt according to the word of Yah unto him. And Jacob rose up with his sons and all his household. And he went out from the land of Canaan, from Beersheba, with joy and gladness of heart. And they went to the land of Egypt. That's Genesis 46, verse 5 through 6. And it came to pass when they came near Egypt, Jacob sent Judah before him to Joseph, that he might show him a situation in Egypt. And Judah did according to the word of his father, and he hastened and ran and came to Joseph. And they assigned for them a place in the land of Goshen from all his household. And Judah returned and came along the road to his father. And Joseph harnessed the chariot, and he assembled all his mighty men and his servants and all the officers of Egypt, in order to go and meet his father Jacob. And Joseph's mandate was proclaimed in Egypt, saying, All that do not go to meet Jacob shall die. Jeez. And on the next day Joseph went forth with all Egypt, a great and mighty host, all dressed in garments of fine linen and purple, and with instruments of silver and gold, and with their instruments of war with them. This is majesty, wearing the royal purple. And they all went to meet Jacob with all sorts of musical instruments, with drums and timbrels, strewing myrrh and aloes all along the road. And they all went after the fashion, and the earth shook at their shouting. This was a common saying, say the earth shook at their shouting. So it was a great shouting, man. It must have been a really magical time for Joseph and Egypt as well. And all the women of Egypt went upon the roofs of Egypt and upon the walls to meet Jacob. And upon the head of Joseph was Pharaoh's regal crown, for Pharaoh had sent it unto him to put on at the time of his going to meet his father. And when Joseph came within 50 cubits of his father, he alighted from the chariot, and he walked toward his father. And when all the officers of Egypt and her nobles saw that Joseph had gone on foot toward his father, they also alighted and walked on foot toward Jacob. And when Jacob approached the camp of Joseph, Jacob observed the camp that was coming toward him with Joseph, and it gratified him, and Jacob was astonished at it. That must have been a wonderful sight, seeing your son just like regal and royalty, man, coming at you and all these hosts following him. It must have been a great feeling for his father. And Jacob said unto Judah, Who is that man whom I see in the camp of Egypt, dressed in kingly robes, with a very red garment upon him, and a royal crown upon his head, who has alighted from his chariot and is coming toward us? And Judah answered his father, saying, He is thy son Joseph, the king. And Jacob rejoiced in seeing the glory of his son. That's awesome. That is probably one of the best. As we're reading this book, you're making your own images of things, and you just see his father is swell with pride. Here's his son that he thought it was dead all these years, and now all of a sudden he see him dressed, he's regal, he's royal, and the pride in him just is swelling. And Joseph came nigh unto his father, and bowed to his father, and all the men of the camp bowed to the ground with him before Jacob. And behold, Jacob ran and hastened to his son Joseph, and fell upon his neck and kissed him. And they wept. And Joseph also embraced his father and kissed him. And they wept, and all the people of Egypt wept with him. It's a great weeping. So it's a great time. Here's Joseph, a man who has protected Egypt from sure death, because the famine came just as the Most High had promised. And it's just a great time right now. And Jacob said unto Joseph, Now I will die cheerfully, after I have seen thy face, that thou art still living, and with glory. That's Genesis 46 verse 30. And the sons of Jacob and their wives and their children and their servants and all the household of Jacob wept exceedingly with Joseph, and they kissed him and wept greatly with him. And Joseph and all his people returned afterward home to Egypt. And Jacob and his sons and all the children of his household came with Joseph to Egypt. And Joseph placed them in the best part of Egypt, in the land of Goshen. And Joseph said unto his father and unto his brethren, I will go up and tell Pharaoh, saying, My brethren and my father's household and all belonging to them have come unto me, and behold, they are in the land of Goshen. That's in Genesis 46 verse 31. And Joseph did so, and took from his brethren Reuben, Issachar, Zebulun, and his brother Benjamin, and he placed them before Pharaoh. That's in Genesis 47 verse 2. And Joseph spoke unto Pharaoh, saying, My brethren and my father's household, and all belonging to them, together with their flocks and cattle, have come unto me from the land of Canaan, to sojourn in Egypt, for the famine was sore upon them. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, Place thy father and brethren in the best part of the land, withhold not from them all that is good, and cause them to eat of the fat of the land. And Joseph answered, saying, Behold, I have stationed them in the land of Goshen, for they are shepherds. Therefore let them remain in Goshen, to feed their flocks apart from the Egyptians, because the Egyptians probably looked down upon something like that. So, to a Hebrew, there was nothing. They were shepherds. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, Do with thy brethren all that they shall say unto thee. And the sons of Jacob bowed down to Pharaoh, and they went forth from him in peace. And Joseph afterward brought his father before Pharaoh. And Jacob came and bowed down to Pharaoh. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh. And he then went out. And Jacob and all his sons and all his household dwelt in the land of Goshen. That's in Genesis 47 verse 10. In the second year, that is in the 130th year of the life of Jacob, Joseph maintained his father and his brethren and all his father's household with bread according to their little ones. All the days of the famine they lacked nothing. And Joseph gave unto them the best part of the whole land. The best of Egypt had they all the days of Joseph. And Joseph also gave unto them and unto the whole of his father's household clothes and garments year by year. And the sons of Jacob remained securely in Egypt all the days of their brother. And Jacob always ate at Joseph's table. Jacob and his sons did not leave Joseph's table day or night, besides what Jacob's children consumed in their houses. I guess if you're going away from your family for so long, you want to spend the rest of your time with them too, man. Make up for all the time that was lost. You know what I'm saying? And all Egypt ate bread during the days of the famine from the house of Joseph for all the Egyptians sold all belonging to them on account of the famine. And Joseph purchased all the lands in the fields of Egypt for bread on the account of Pharaoh. And Joseph supplied all Egypt with bread all the days of the famine. And Joseph collected all the silver and gold that came from him for the corn which they brought throughout the land. And he accumulated much gold and silver, besides an immense quantity of onyx stones, bdellium, and valuable garments which they brought unto Joseph from every part of the land where their money was spent. And Joseph took all the silver and gold that came into his hand, about 72 talents of gold and silver, and also onyx stones and bdellium in great abundance. And Joseph went and concealed them in 4 parts. And he concealed one part in the wilderness near the Red Sea, and one part by the river Pirath. And the 3rd and 4th part he concealed in the desert opposite to the wilderness of Persia and Media. And he took part of the gold and silver that was left, and gave it unto all his brothers, and unto all his father's household, and unto all the women of his father's household. And the rest he brought to the house of Pharaoh, about 20 talents of gold and silver. And Joseph gave all the gold and silver that was left unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh placed it in the treasury. And the days of the famine ceased after that in the land. And they sowed and reaped in the whole land. And they obtained their usual quantity year by year. They lacked nothing. That's in Genesis 47 verse 20. So we see here that the famine is going away. And now the earth is giving up her strength again. And Joseph dwelt securely in Egypt, and the whole land was under his advice. And his father and all his brethren dwelt in the land of Goshen, and took possession of it. And Joseph was very aged, advanced in days, and his 2 sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, remained constantly in the house of Jacob, together with the children of the sons of Jacob their brethren, to learn the ways of Yah and his law. And Jacob and his sons dwelt in the land of Egypt, in the land of Goshen, and they took possession in it, and they were fruitful and multiplied in it. So there we go in Jasher chapter 55. We see a total coming together of the house of Jacob. We see just a blessing and a promise that the Most High had made. And you know, like I said, man, the Most High has his own time frame. When you're infinite like he is, you know, we just can't comprehend when he has a plan. You know, we know we flesh. We know we only have a lot of time. We know we're gonna die. This terrestrial thing that we're taking on right now will be gone. We know we'll become celestial one day. But in the meantime, you know, like I said, we're not working on time. Time was something that was pretty much invented. The Most High has no time. It's infinite. Like I say, like a day is 1,000 years to him, man. It's like, you know, he's infinite. You know what I'm saying? He has all the so-called time in the world for anything, man. So, you know, like I say, anything is possible for him. Anything. You know, he's just on a different time frame than we are, you know, as humans. You know, we have things to do in life, you know, procreate, reproduce and everything like that. You know, the main thing is to obey the commandments and the statutes that the Most High has given, live for him. You know, these little fleshly bodies that we have, you know, it's just temporary. They're just holding that spirit inside of you. You know, you just got to decide, you know, where you want your spirit to go. You know, do you want your spirit to live an everlasting life, or do you want it to burn in an eternal death? You know, that's torment, not knowing that you'll ever live again, whether it's celestially or terrestrially. That's torment. You know, whether this torment of hell is like, you know, torment, or just the torment of knowing that you would never live again. You know, whether physical or spiritual, man, eternity is a long time, man. I just want you guys to think about that. Eternity is a real long time, man. Just think about your ways and things that you're doing in life. If you're doing wrong, no one's perfect, but if you're doing wrong, just try your best to try to repent. The Most High knows your weaknesses. It's just up to you to give it to Him to help you overcome those weaknesses, before it's too late. You know what I'm saying? All right, look, this is your boy, Yah's Chosen One, man. I love you guys so much. And just continue to get in the Word each and every day. I don't think it matters if you're an Israelite or a stranger that want to sojourn with an Israelite. You just got to try your best each and every day, because this is Satan's world. That's why he was able to offer the kingdoms of the world to Yehoshua, because they was his to give. So you got to know that you're living in Satan's world. Ephesians 6:12, we battle against spirits and principalities, man. Each and every day. Each and every day, man. So just make sure that you can overcome that in Yehoshua's name. And, you can't be stopped, because you're Yah's chosen one too. All right, shalom.